therapist, says that he was first visited by aliens when he was 8 years old. He continues to have encounters as an adult, and yes, he believes that beings from other planets have been intimate with him. So, despite the fact that they have been scared out of their minds, Peter and others we're going to hear from today say that their lessons from the aliens have enriched their lives in ways that they would like to share with us. And that is what we're here to hear from you. You know how crazy it sounds. I said to you as we started the show, this is really either pretty brave of you or it's one of the great publicity stunts of our time. Because to go on television and to admit that you have been abducted in a world where people don't even, most people, I think, don't accept that as a part of reality or possible reality, puts you in a pretty good position to be ridiculed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so are you scared about that? Are you?
I used to be scared about it, but it's really important now to talk about it because I realize there's lots of people out there like myself who a few years ago had these experiences and didn't know what to do with them.
Yes, but what I want to hear from you, or I'm trying to hear from you, is whether or not you understand how crazy it sounds to us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I had to deal with my own craziness and to think it was crazy for me to think this before I could talk to other people about it.
So when it first happened to you, is it something that you absolutely were sure of, or did it feel like a dream, or did you, what?
I wasn't sure. I had a conscious memory. I knew something happened in the middle of the night that I couldn't explain, that nowhere in my imagination could I have made this up. And I just sat with that for a long time.
You say or you were quoted in Dr. Mack's book, I remember, as saying that you always did believe somehow in guardian angels. That as a child you thought they were just guardian angels, and that you always believed that you had some way of talking to God. That's what, as I remember the quote. That's not exactly the quote, but something like that. So do you remember when you were 8 years old being abducted, or when you were younger feeling this whatever?
No, I had memories when I was an adult, 3 or 4 years ago. And then in regression is when I went back in time, saw myself as a child having the abductions from the time I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
So more and more came out under regression.
Okay, can you tell me what you remembered when you were regressed?
I remember a light hitting me in the forehead, aliens in my room, being lifted up into a spaceship.
What they look like? They look like they did in the Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
No.
No?
Similar, but not quite the same. Not at all.
Okay.
I remember lying on a table, lying naked, having probes put around me, experiments done on me, looking in my eyes, my ears, around my body.
So this happened to you, what, in the middle of the day, or you...
They happen at nighttime.
Okay, so when you're sleeping? Or not sleeping?
What happened was, for me, the conscious memories that I had was, in the middle of the night, I woke up, very conscious, walked over to my living room, saw something in the room, felt the white light, felt the paralysis, and then I fell asleep. Several hours later, I woke up and had these intense emotions associated with the experience that just, I couldn't fathom. Like, why was I so scared? Why was I terrified? What was...
You had a bad dream.
That's what I thought. That's what I wanted to believe. That's what I wanted to believe for years. And I think that's what most people want to believe.
And why do you want to believe that? Because
I don't want to think I'm abducted by aliens. That was the last thing I wanted in my life.
This sounds like a bad tabloid story.
That's what it sounded like to me for a long time.
But Dr. Mack tape recorded several of his therapy sessions with Peter, including one where Peter was under hypnosis. And during these sessions, Peter recalled his meetings with the aliens.
And then we're going outside. And I'm like this. They got me.
Peter, just remember, you're going to be okay. Just go, let it go. Let the feelings come. You're going to come through this fine.
What was that like to hear it? What's it like to hear it now?
It's easier now because I've heard it so many times, but it still brings up emotions. And that's what made me believe that something happened, because I couldn't deny my emotions.
I heard your own father didn't believe you until he heard the tape. Now, that is sort of what we call one of those blood-curdling screams. It's, you know?
Well, it's not that my father didn't believe me, but it's just to hear the story. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to accept. But when he saw the tape and heard the emotions associated with it, he knew there was something there. And for myself, I knew there was something real there.